And boom, welcome back to the Touching Bases podcast. I am your host, Chad C. It's been an interesting day today, for sure. First game, ALCS, Mariners and Blue Jays. I was on a low. I think every Mariners fan was on a low, absolutely, going into this game with losing the first two, losing the first two at home. And that's after dominating while on the road to be 2 games up. They completely lost it. It's always the Mariners that are going to find a way to just drive us crazy, give us heart attacks. As far as Mariner fans goes, Blue Jays fans had to be ecstatic coming back, evening up the series, making it 2-2, knowing that this was going to go back to Toronto so they can actually play at home. Whether or not that's a good thing for them, that's debatable. Looking at this point. Only the Mariners, I guess, are a slighter advantage at home because they have one game won. But going back to Toronto, that's going to be huge. I mean, it's a great thing for Seattle to pull off this win, which was incredible. It did not look good because the offense was just dead. It came all the way down to the 8th inning. Cal Raleigh doing what he always does, what he does best off of Blue Jay pitching, and hitting a 155-foot vertical fly ball that happens to make it out of the park just over the wall in left field, batting right-handed for the first time in postseason, tying the game up, making it 2-2, giving them the opportunity to at least take it into extras. That was exactly what I was thinking. As soon as that happened, it was like, we're going to extras. This is going to be a 15-inning game where everybody's going to be tired flying back to Toronto. It's going to be insane. No matter who wins, they're going to be just completely exhausted. Granted, Mariners do have 13 guys in their bullpen, and, Toronto doesn't. So maybe they had one up there. But luckily, same inning, their pitching could not figure it out. They took out Brandon Little. I mean, I feel bad for the guy because I don't know if he is playoff ready yet. He seemed really good during the regular season, but he also showed earlier in the postseason that maybe he wasn't up for the job. And clearly he wasn't able to do it on command. When he was throwing strikes, they're right down the middle, and they paid for it. They eventually get the bases loaded in that same inning. Gino Suarez comes up, and man, he has been as bleak as they can possibly come in this postseason, but yet he is the only one who hit a home run and got a run in this game before the 8th inning, and comes through in the clutch. Fastball, hits it oppo just over the wall, maybe 3 or 4 rows back. Grand slam in the ALCS, and Munoz comes in to close it out. It was an incredible game. You guys all know I'm a Mariner fan, obviously, but I really have to give it kudos to the Blue Jays because whether or not you say okay, they put up a really good fight and they are a really good team, yeah, absolutely. I think it's more the other way around. I think the Blue Jays are the better team as far as consistency goes. I'm not going to say overall. Consistency got to go to the Blue Jays. But the talent on the roster, the names, is, I think, widely accepted that the Mariners have a better roster. When they're clicking, though, when they're quiet like they are right now, it is hard to understand what you can do to change it. Because if your best guys are out there not hitting, you just got to tip your hat to the bullpen, right? To whoever's on the mound, to the starting pitchers for the Blue Jays, 100%. But this has got to be the most even matchup you could possibly find. I thought the Tigers was an even matchup. This is super even. We have days where it is a 1-run game in the very beginning, and then it's a 10-2, 10-3 ball game. In the second game, it just seemed like a blowout. I was like, all right, Mariners are up. They're gonna figure it out. And then you got a blowout in Seattle with a 13-3, something like that. I'm not keeping track. I am riffing, guys. And you're like, all right, maybe the tide has changed. It's going back towards Toronto. This is not good for Mariner fans. It's great for Toronto fans. They can breathe a little bit, right? Fourth game, they take that one as well. And it's not exactly the closest of games, but it's just like, okay, this is starting to get a little lopsided. It's back and forth, and you can't predict what's going to happen. Unlike the NLCS, which just wrapped up about, I don't know, 15 minutes ago prior to recording this. We'll see what happens on Sunday when they end up in Toronto. I'm hoping for the Mariners to pull off another win, go undefeated in the postseason for 2025 in Toronto. That would be awesome. Make it to a World Series, but who knows? They're probably going to lose because this is what they do to us. And then Game 7 will come down and maybe they'll pull it off. It's a big question mark. Huge game tonight. Super exciting. Super fun to watch. There's been a lot of drama, and I will address this. And some of you might not like what I have to say, but I'll play on. I'm not going to play on the side of like, oh, well, who's being reasonable here. I am a Mariners fan, and I have been for a long time. So I believe it was a fifth inning, something like that. George Springer gets clipped in the kneecap with a fastball from Brian Wu. Just ran. It was an inside pitch, and it curved in. He was halfway through his swing. It got him on the back knee, on his right knee. He's right-handed. And he just immediately went down. He tried to fight through and go to first, and he was just hobbling. He couldn't. It seemed like he was probably getting worse. Most likely it was inflammation. If he did crack something, fluid buildup most likely inside. Like it was a 96, 97 mile an hour fastball, maybe 98. So he's in a lot of pain, obviously. There has been some posts. Adam Levine, who's a reporter for the Mariners, I'm not exactly sure. I think he's with Fox, made a post that is getting a lot of traction saying, I'm not quoting him just right now, but it was something along the lines of, if you're going to throw a fastball and hit somebody, like, who else would you rather have it be? And then hashtag Mariners. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, this looks bad. This is a terrible thing to say. And I even responded to one of them. Maybe I can pull it up. Okay, so he just responded. So I guess the x-rays came back negative for Springer. That just came out. And he's kind of fallen back. Aaron Levine, not Maroon 5, Aaron Levine. Man, stand your ground. I don't know why you're doing this. Sorry, I'm reading as I go. This is new. He just says, good news, hope he's okay and hope he's back. Want to beat them at full strength. Hashtag Mariners. We all know what the drift was of like, who better to hit at the plate than George Springer? Like, yeah, that's it. And yet there are comments on here, and yet an hour ago you were cheering on his injury. Way to save face. His response was, show me where I was cheering any injury. Never was, never did. I don't know about that. He says, nope, never cheered for his injury ever. I mean, sorry, Aaron, but it's not. You did. But, this is where everybody's going to lose me here. I'm fine with it. I don't care. I really don't care. It's not a matter of you want someone hurt. It's you don't want to have to face them again. Like, that was probably, if there's a person to get injured in any play, that is the guy that you want to get injured. And most fans are not going to have any sort of humility towards someone that was part of that 2017 Astros. And I know half of you are going to be like, get over it. Whatever, it's 2017. No, that whole team should have been banned from baseball. They were all actively cheating. And they're in our division, and we actively lost that division because of their cheating, because of what they did. So yeah, this is someone who actively and openly accepted and went along with cheating in baseball to win a World Series. Was caught, and then there was no repercussions at all. None. AJ Hinch, he's a Tigers coach now. Knocked them out. The rest of the team, they're all over the place. Carlos Correa, well, he just went back. Alex Bregman's over in Boston. George Springer made a ton of money going to Toronto, who are playing now. Yeah, there's some hate. There's some hate for this guy. There's a reason why he's booed. And I believe that there was another post that said, not a good look on fans. That's the one I was replying to. Why? Because they were booing that he went to first base and because they cheered when they pulled him out? Yeah, they hate this guy. Would have done the same thing to A-Rod. The dude left his home, the place that developed him, that brought him to where he is, to go play in Texas. One of the rivals at the time. This was before Houston was even in. So the Rangers were our nemesis in our division. And he went to go play for them for a boatload of money that now is pretty much the average like 30 home run hitter. You can't say it's a bad look for fans to be happy that someone that screwed the game, took advantage of the game, that cheated the game, that literally did the same form and factor of what Pete Rose did and never could make it to the Hall of Fame. But as a collective team, so since it's a team and you have no one to point a finger at directly, it's just no big deal. Just no big, yeah. So people are allowed to have their emotions, and they're allowed to hate someone. Like that is part of the game. There are people and other fan bases that the Yankees, they hate Vladdy, and Vladdy hates them. That's okay. You can cheer for someone to do terrible. You can cheer for someone to fail. You can cheer for someone to no longer be able to play in the game. And we're all stuck on this humility idea, like we have to be so friendly and this is Little League. No, they're paid $500 million. Why does it matter? Like, these are grown-ass men. They can handle your opinions. They can handle your woos and your woes. Does it mean it's right? No, but it doesn't mean that the fan base is bad because they hate somebody for a passion, for a reason. If there was no reason, it's like, all right, maybe we can talk about this. Like, why are we being so terrible? But like, we're not throwing stuff at George Springer's family that's in the crowd, like Yankee fans doing for Vladdy. We're not attacking fans that are in the stadium, which happened in, I believe it was San Francisco. There was like I think it was Dodgers and Giants way back when, 2015 or something like that. Someone died. Like, that shit is crazy. He got plunked on the knee. Oh well, no one's going to die. No one's going to get beaten up. No one's going to get arrested. Stop crying. These fans want it all. They hate that guy. Move the fuck on. Comment down below what you guys think. You don't have to agree with me, and it's fine. I don't think that you're wrong for disagreeing with me. I don't. I completely respect that you don't think it's right, that, oh, nobody should be cheering for somebody to get hurt. But also, you shouldn't post it and say it and then back out of it 3 fucking times on Twitter. When you did. Aaron, that's a bad look. And you are now making Mariner fans look bad because you can't stand up for what you said, or at least straight up apologize if you didn't mean it, or stick to your guns. You don't have to be right, but be honest with yourself and everybody else. All right, I'm off my high horse. The NLCS. The NLCS has officially come to a conclusion as Shohei Ohtani took the mound through 10 strikeouts through 6 innings scoreless against the underwhelming Brewers. This entire series, there was no offense. God forbid they would get a freaking home run more than once, twice. At the same time, he goes up to the plate and hits 3 home runs. The LA Dodgers win this game 4 in a complete sweep, 5-1, as they did get 1 run in. The Brewers, I don't know what happened. I mean, honestly, they didn't have much pitching. I mean, let's be honest. They did openers yesterday. Jacob Mizorowski, kind of an opener, kind of a starter. He did good, but he only did good during the time where you had the shadows peeking over home plate in between the mound, to where it was pretty much impossible for them to see anything, especially if you're throwing over 100, and he was. Although I will say his velocity dropped rapidly throughout that game. He went from 101, 103 to like 96 towards the end of that. Gassing himself out, I'm assuming. I'm really not sure. They started making a little bit better contact as soon as those shadows weren't a problem. Yeah, it's just there just wasn't enough pitching, and the pitching that they had was gassed. Uribe, he's out there every single day. Dude, like, give the guy a break. Koenig, I believe he was out there every day except for 1. And then who else do you got? Like, I really didn't see many other relievers in the game. Was I paying that much close attention? Not really, but those were the names that stood out to me that I constantly saw. And Uribe was not on top of it. It's just the whole Brewers team, and I was rooting for them. Like, I wanted to see the former Seattle Pilots come into this game and perform the way I would love to see them play. To represent, to see the Mariners, who've never been to a World Series, show up and play the expansion team based off the Seattle Pilots. The same organization that just divided finally came back to the World Series. That would have been so cool. And I don't know what the best NL team in baseball for the regular season did or what curse was stowed upon them because they fell on their face. They fell on their face all 4 games. Hats off to the starting pitching of the Dodgers. Every single one of them seemed to have a career start or at least a best start of the season performance. Or I shouldn't say season, I guess it's postseason. Best start of 2025. And if they bring that into the World Series, they're probably going to win it. Which, I mean, what? How many people probably voted the Dodgers to win, right? Dave Roberts at the very end of the game, he says, let's go win it all. Let's ruin baseball. Like, they're openly acknowledging the fact that they don't care, obviously, what people say and how unfair it is for that organization to buy every player to win championships. I honestly think that sentiment is a bit childish. I think that owners of other teams, with the money that they have coming in, should fork up more money and stop crying poor. Like, you're millionaires, you're billionaires, some of you, and you won't fork up more money because it's gonna hurt your profit. Even though you will profit more by it being a dynasty, which is exactly what this team is. It's a building block of a dynasty that if wins again, it's gonna be the first time since God knows how long, where they're a team won back to back to win the World Series. Like, there are so many fans of the Dodgers in the United States, and they have all this money coming in. Their tickets are super expensive for a rather shitty stadium, if you ask me. It's really not that nice compared to all the other stadiums I've been to. It's not that nice, but they show up and they fill it, and it's still the largest stadium in baseball. Why are new stadiums not being built with 50 something thousand, 60 something thousand seats? Why not? I don't understand this. You make more money when you do that. And Dodger Stadium seems to be pretty filled, if you ask me. The thing is, though, all these poor teams, and I'm putting quotes around that, poor teams, they want to invest because they're worried that their return won't come back because they're worried about, oh well, what if we win it all, but I don't make the money back that I did, and how long do I have to sign these guys, and what if they fall off? And do it, and then if you need to, you can trade them because you're the owner. That's how this works. All these teams that cry poor and say the Dodgers are ruining baseball because they're actually forking up the cash to go out and get players. It's stupid. It's a coping mechanism to blame them because your team won't invest. I'm in the same boat, so you cannot even you can't even complain. I am right there with you, talking about the same exact things. I wish my team would spend more money. Instead, they trade. They trade and they get guys for half a season. So far, my team is finally pulling it off. They finally have enough, and it still might not be enough to make it all the way. And I doubt it's going to be anything close to stand up to the Dodgers. But I will say this right now. The fans in Seattle, the fans in Toronto, the fans in Milwaukee are significantly more loud, significantly more excited, and we're significantly more into the game than Dodgers fans. I'm sorry, just I watch these games, and yeah, the Dodgers fans are on their feet and they're cheering when the big things happen, but they're sitting down most of the game until something happens. That's not the case in all of these other stadiums. I'm looking. I'm watching. Also, the Dodgers just won the NLCS. They are the National League champions. This was the most underwhelming, boring, pathetic, lack of excitement, final out to sweeping the series I've ever seen. People are like, yeah, we won. They're going up and they went out into the field and they're just high-fiving each other and they're doing their normal line. handshakes. You just won the championship for the National League. You are the National League champions. And the most excitement I got was like a fist pump, and then Shohei climbed over the railing. Didn't jump, just climbed over. The Mariners, I know it was a walk-off, but the place went insane against the Tigers. I was there at Game 5. It was unheard of. It was the most insane reaction ever, as if we won the World Series. I'm serious. And it it's kind of like the expectation there is so high and so demanding, and it's so expected that it kind of sucks away from the fun of victory, of showing up, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna win this game, so we're just gonna come so I can say I'm here, and the team just shows up and it's like, yeah, well, we're so much better than them, so we're just gonna do what we always do. I don't know. It's not a lot of fun. If the Blue Jays win the next two games and make it to the World Series, knocking out the Mariners, they're gonna have to figure it out with their bullpen. This is gonna be a very evenly matched team because the Dodgers bullpen has been dog shit. The Blue Jays bullpen has been dog shit. That's two dog shit bullpens that are relying on their starters. And you have the Dodgers, who have Tyler Glasnow, Shohei Ohtani, Blake Snell, and you have Yamamoto as your, I don't know if you call him your fourth, but like he just had a career start. That's your starters. You have to beat them out as soon as possible in order to go against the bullpen, so you can actually get some hits. And the test for the Blue Jays was the Mariners. How do they handle the bullpen, which the Mariners arguably, it's been a little rough this series. They've been challenging them. Has the best bullpen in baseball, and one of the best. I would say has the best starting rotation in the American League. Dodgers are a quick, right there, if not better, absolutely. So you already have, let's say, the best starting rotation in baseball with the Mariners, and then you would be going on to face the best rotation in the National League for the World Series. Right now, it seems pretty iffy. Like it's going to be a real close game for the Blue Jays, as long as their bats get going. As you saw, the Dodgers were not really putting up big numbers. None of these games, I think, made it over 5 runs. I think all of them were like 5 or less, like 4, 3. Today was 5. These are not high-scoring games whatsoever. So I ask that if the Blue Jays do make it to the World Series, seriously tune in and pay attention to that, because it's really going to depend on who can handle the starting rotation. And the Dodgers aren't exactly hitting very well, so their pitching is going to have to pick it up for the Brewers, or sorry, for the Blue Jays, who they haven't been bad, but Trey Savage, little questionable. Max Scherzer did great against a Mariners team that was just like not really performing even after he was taken out. So is that really? I don't think Max Scherzer is going to be able to perform the way he did against the Dodgers. I just don't see it. It's just that's a way better hitting team. Granted, the Dodgers and the Mariners kind of similarly, like they're not getting a lot of runs. The Mariners have produced more runs than the Dodgers did in the championship series, and they're both, well, this was game 5, so even if you put them together, like with the first 4 games, there was more runs that were produced by both teams than the Dodgers. So maybe that's a good thing for the Blue Jays. It's going to be it's very hard to tell who's going to win, even though I know the Dodgers are the favorites. And it really comes down to how do the Blue Jays play away, and then can they figure it out at home? If the Mariners win tomorrow and they go to the World Series, first of all, that is going to be the first World Series they've ever gone to. ever. This entire franchise. I am not sure how to feel about it. The offense for the Mariners has been slightly better than the Brewers on their worst days. We're talking 3 runs, 4 runs. Brewers really have been held to 0 or 1 pretty much the whole series, we would all agree. So slightly better on their worst days. On their really good days, which have mostly been against the bullpen of the Blue Jays, which I would argue to say is equally as bad as the Dodgers bullpen, then the Mariners have a chance if they can not beat them out, but find a way to knock out the starting pitching, to get rid of Blake Snell, to get rid of Glasnow, to get away from Yamamoto. I mean, it's going to be hard. I would say you in your time off that you have, if you're planning to face Glasnow, dude, Logan Gilbert, we need you on the mound. We need you to do some BP reps. I need you to throw us the way that Tyler Glasnow throws them, because they are going to be the closest as far as height and reach and release point on that mound, and try to gain an advantage against that. Pick it up. Use the traverse. Is that the traverse system? Like, put Glasnow out there and throw the pitches exactly the way. Like, work on your offense 100%. Gino woke up today. Obviously, that's great. Will he carry that over into Toronto? I don't know, but he is not good hitting at home, and that's been the biggest issue. This an away game, maybe that's good. Will he hit well in Dodger Stadium? I don't know. I don't know at all. Randy still has not woken the fuck up. He needs to start hitting. He can't be the leadoff batter moving forward if he's going to be batting a 116 in the postseason. It's just not okay. You can't have that. Naylor's been pretty much the guy who's been the most consistent on the team as far as getting on base and hitting. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Victor Robles, where's he been the last 2 games? Is he injured? Because he's not on the injured list. There's nothing saying why he is not on the field, and I saw him in the dugout. So why is he in and Canzone, why is he on the bench, and then why is Canzone out there, like, almost hitting a home run? It's a foul ball, but that's literally the only frickin' thing he's done this entire series. And he sucks in the outfield. Let me go back to that game, the game tonight. How do you not throw out Alejandro Kirk, the slowest guy in baseball, running from second on a single to right field, and miss so badly that even if you threw a perfect strike to home plate, your arm is so weak that he would have scored safely? Why is he in the game? I don't understand this at all. There's a lot of managerial questions coming from Dan Wilson and the Mariners, and that is another thing that scares me for the Dodgers if they go to the World Series. I don't want to put my eggs in the basket for the Mariners winning the World Series. I would put some eggs in the basket for the Blue Jays if they were able to beat out the Mariners, but I'm still rooting for my team. There's a managerial level of IQ that Dave Roberts has well over Dan Wilson, and it's just a fact. And every time that Dan Wilson makes a move, it seems like the batting saves his ass, because it has not worked out very well. And there's been a lot of questionable things happening out on this field for the Seattle Mariners. And it's just the worst. Also, whoever is actually teaching the base running for the Mariners, he's like, assign him to another duty, because this is the worst base running team in baseball. I will openly say that. And that could kill us moving forward. That could kill our ability to get to the World Series. Mark my words, if you are still watching this right now, you can clip it all you want. If we, the Mariners, lose the ALCS because of a base running hiccup, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I call it, because the last few games has been stupid. Why is Naylor going to third on a base hit when you scored? You could have just kept the inning going. And that was yesterday. And then today would have been it. We would have been done. It would have been the 4th game. Maybe. You could have pulled through. Changed the momentum of the game eventually. As always, Justin Havens makes a post, and I love commenting on there. He made a post which I'm getting a lot of replies on. So he made the post says the Brewers hit 118 batting average in 2025 NLCS. That is the worst batting average by any team in any postseason series of at least 3 games in MLB history. That is insanely bad. How does the best record in baseball, the number one team overall, come October 1st, hits 118 against a team that they beat 6 times? They were 6-0 against in the regular season. What happened? So I made the comment, is this a testament to Dodgers pitching? Or is it a complete collapse of nerves and the Brewers just never showed up? It's one of the two, and one of them's either glorifying the Dodgers, which most people don't want to do, or it's talking about how the Brewers just kind of blew it. And Brewer fans aren't going to want to admit that either. And Dodger fans aren't going to want to admit that because they want to say that their team is just that much more elite. So I feel like the second one could be true, and we're not going to get honest answers. A guy named David on here says the Brewers collapsed. The Reds did better than that. Yeah, that is very true. I'm reading these for the first time. Rafaela report. I've gone back and forth with this guy a few times. Good pitching always pitch, or good pitchers always pitch. 90% Milwaukee. So he's basically saying, even though we didn't see Snell when they played those games, so I'm gonna throw that one out there. Glasnow was a little bit off and on through the season as well. They never saw that pitching, so I want to throw that out there. But he's also saying that the Milwaukee Brewers kind of fell on their face and they blew it. I think most of these people were probably voting for the Brewers to win. The ALCS has a lot more excitement in it for sure. The Dodgers, hats off to, again, their organization. They were going out and spending all this money, bringing home championship teams, bringing home a championship team to LA. I do like some of these posts. Not a single player is from Los Angeles that's on the Dodgers. So I don't know. That's kind of an interesting thing there. But so, hats off to them. They're going out and spending what we wish all of our teams would do. I know the Brewer fans wish that their ownership would go out and spend some money and bring in some star players, and maybe that would have been the extra little push instead of going out and getting Andrew Vaughn, who worked out for them. But you can't get an Andrew Vaughn every single time. As it turns out, he just hates Chicago. If there's a chance that maybe you can go after somebody like Alex Bregman this offseason to fill third base and have Joey Ortiz be your shortstop and maybe upgrade at second base over Caleb Durbin or in your outfield if you want to. Make sure you're rehabbing, you're taking care of Jackson Churio. Make some moves. Just make some moves. You need your. I think at the very minimum, if you're going to be a team that's this good and you almost made it this close, the next season you don't have much excuse to say we have to go for it because we showed that we were, unfortunately, second best in our league, and we could have been first best because we didn't sustain what we did during the regular season, and that is beat the LA Dodgers. So a message to Brewer fans and Brewer ownership: you should invest in your team as you always do, Brewer fans. Keep buying tickets, show up, cheer them on, show the ownership that they really need to invest in them, especially next season. And then Brewer ownership, you need to get 3 guys. Go out and spend big bucks on 3 guys. Give me like 1 good bat and then 2 really, really solid starting pitchers. And give yourself Mizorowski and Freddie Peralta and throw 2 really high-end starting pitchers in that rotation that you think are going to work out for you. There's plenty of options coming up this offseason, and get yourself a really good bat that replaces your weakest link. Go for it. You pick which one you want to fill. You got to add. You got to add. You're too close. And that's the same thing with the Mariners. If they let go of Josh Naylor, if they let go of Gino, and they let go of Jorge Polanco, and they let go of, there's only 1 more year left of Randy Rosarena. The only guys you have on retention right now is your starting pitching and Julio and Cal. That's really all you got. So you don't bring them back and try one more push to actually make it, especially if you make it to the World Series to actually win it, to solidify it. you're a fucking terrible owner. And I think majority of Mariner fans already believe that John Stanton is a terrible owner, and he doesn't really give a shit. It just happens to be that front office that works underneath him worked their asses off, and they came through and they found a way to make it work off the limited budget that John Stanton has given them, and he just needs to boost it up. Just raise it, raise the payroll by 40 million a year, and you have a team that will win multiple championships in all those playoff games. All of this media, all of this attention, all this tourist attraction to Seattle, to your park, to T-Mobile is going to pay. And it's the same for the Brewers. Most people don't go to Milwaukee for vacations. They might, though, if you start making it an awesome baseball town. It's a possibility. Blue Jays, Toronto, you're already a huge market. You're already doing it. You're already spending money on guys. Santander did not work out this season. Granted, I mean, you probably should have gone Otani, but clearly that didn't work your way. That's a whole nother discussion from 2 years ago. But, I mean, there's a reason why Toronto's here. It's because they spend the big bucks. They're, what, number 4, number 5, something like that? So, yeah. I don't think I have any final thoughts. Dodgers moving on to the World Series for the second year in a row. Mariners, Blue Jays, they will be showing up on Sunday in Toronto. Mariners win it, they go to the World Series. They lose, play Game 7 in Toronto. I believe it's in Toronto. And that will decide who is going to the World Series. Like the video if you made it this far. Go ahead and leave a comment down below what your guys' thoughts are. Anything you disagree with me on, go ahead and argue it. I will reply and we'll look at everything. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I think I'm gonna have somebody on. I'm still figuring that whole thing out. So I love you all. Later.